All right, keep going for Paul. He was hilarious. Paul and Holly are why I do comedy. I love doing stand-up work with all these very funny comics. I was working a show a couple weeks ago where the comic told a story, brought back a childhood memory. He told a story about when he found his father's stash of pornography. He and his father bonded over that moment. When I was 9, I found my father's stash of pornography. We didn't bond, but that's when I discovered my father was gay. It's like Johnny Does the Catching is not a baseball film. After the third time I watched it, I said, there's no sports activity in this movie. My mother wasn't much better. When I was a little kid, she didn't think I knew my name. So she bought me this stupid shirt that said, hello, my name is Joseph John. Now, as an adult, I look back on this and realized that she was serving me up with the pedophiles on the silver platter with the shirt. So like the idiot that I was, I wore this shirt to school one day. I'm walking home. This weird guy in the van pulls up. Hey, Joseph John, when you get in the van, I've got some candy. Hey, Joseph John, when you get in the van, I've got a puppy. I didn't know who he was talking to. My mother was right. I didn't know my fucking name. Now think about it. 7 years old, I had to live with this dilemma most of my life. Should I have been more worried that at 7 I didn't know my name, or that some pervert was trying to lure me into his van? I still struggle with that every day. But I do CrossFit. Anybody do CrossFit? Right? I think I'm doing it wrong, but I've been doing it for 11 years and this is getting bigger. But, also, I don't know what Holly was looking at telling me I was skinny, but anyway. We had a Christmas party in December, and they brought me a present. They brought me brandy. Not the alcohol, the sex toy. And brandy was just a rubber vagina and butthole. And I looked at this thing and I thought, there are pathetic men out there that buy this to really use. And I said, I'm going to have some fun with this. So the next day, I put a little ketchup on it, throw it in the hood of my car, take a picture, post it to Facebook. As I was driving home last night, I hit this woman. This is all that's left of her. Can somebody come identify the body? I'm still banned from Facebook indefinitely. But the next day, I did get a knock on the door from the New Jersey State Police. And there were 2 troopers at the door and said, we need to see the remains of the woman you hit. And I explained the joke, so we still need to see. Now, I'm embarrassed to admit this, but between the time I did the joke and the time the troopers came to the house, I did become one of those pathetic guys that use this thing. And I don't know if I cleaned it well enough. So I'm walking into the door, and it's straight. And so the troopers, that's all I needed to see. I'll go write my report. The other trooper's still standing there. He hands me a piece of paper. What's this? He said, this is the website where you buy the cleaning solution for that kid. I have her cousin Bambi. Oh gosh, so I'm going to be turned 65 this year. Where does the time go? Thank you for clapping, but soon you're going to realize it's not a celebration anymore. I went from like 18 and stayed out all night to turn 64, almost 65, wondering, did I take that blood pressure pill? Yeah, that's what you do at 64, 65. But anyway, people say, it's a big birthday. Are you going to have a party? No, anymore it's no longer a celebration. It's more of a countdown. The reason I say that is that, 63 gave you some nasty stuff like erectile dysfunction, anal leakage. But there's some older guys in this audience, you know what I'm going to say next, right? I saw myself naked in front of a full-length mirror. Gravity has not been good to my balls. They're sagging. Oh my God. You guys remember the toy, the clackers, the 2 balls at the end of the stream? I actually have to went to the street. They look that blue and they make that noise too. I don't think this is good. But my brain still works. My mind's sharp as a... Anyway, I'll think of the word. I did a show where they asked the comics, what was the worst advice you ever got? I remember like it was yesterday. It was over 30 years ago. I was going out on a date with a beautiful woman. My roommate said, listen, you're going to get lucky, you're going to get laid, don't use protection, penicillin cures everything. does that. What it didn't cure is that 30-year-old kid that still runs around the house calling me dad. That's what it does. So I got started in stand-up at a late age. I started at age 62. And people say, oh, is it something that you want to always do? Bucket list items? No. Prior to December 2023, I had no desire to do stand-up. It was not even a thought, ever. I had a string of bad relationships, dating some crazy women. So I woke up one day in December 2023 and I said, I want to do something fun. Let me try stand-up comedy. How hard could that be? Here I am. But people say, how crazy could these women be? Let me give you a couple examples. I dated a woman for 8 years. 8 years. One day, out of the blue, we weren't involved in anything intimate. She stands up on the couch and she pees on me. She's peeing on me, and I said, what the fuck are you doing? I said, I thought you would enjoy it. Now, I know the language's not good with your people, but look at me. Do I look like a person that would like to get peed on? Is there a look? I don't know. Maybe. Then after her, I dated this girl who was a heroin addict. She had me firmly convinced that her track marks were cat scratches. After 2 weeks, you know what I asked? Where's the fucking cat? Oh gosh. So last year it was colonoscopy time. You guys know that, right? If you don't know what a colonoscopy is, it's where they take that mile-long hose, shove it all the way up your ass. And when they did the procedure, they didn't put me on it, they just did that twilight. And in the recovery room, the doctor said to me, he said, listen, you were talking a lot and you really made us laugh. I said, well, really, what did I say? He said, the one thing that we all really laughed at is, he said, come on, fellas, one at a time. Now, if you've had this procedure, you know the procedure is not the worst thing. It's the prep the day before, right? You can't eat, you have to drink liquids, clear liquids. And about 8 p.m. the instructions said you're going to evacuate. And I know we have at least one healthcare professional in the audience this evening. And correct me if I'm wrong, but evacuate is the medical term for shit your brains out. So the day before the procedure, 8 o'clock came, and I'm evacuating. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 1 a.m., still evacuating. And I finally look back in the toilet to see if I was shitting out a lung. No bodily organs, but I wondered to myself, when the hell did I eat catfish? But the best part of this whole thing is, at the end, they give you a souvenir picture of 3/4 of a mile up my ass. So I asked, do I start an album? Do I put it on the fridge? So I was carrying it around my wall until it fell out at the grocery store and grossed somebody out. Anyway, I don't talk anymore about that. But even though I'm getting older, I am experiencing some newer things. Has anybody ever gotten a tit pic on your phone? Yeah, okay. This tit pic was from a woman who I wasn't even dating. She was just a friend. She was in the hospital. She asked me to bring her a sandwich, which I did. So 2 days later, she sends me a tit pic. I said, thank you. Why? I just wanted to thank you for bringing me the sandwich. I'm thinking, if I sent a dick pic to everybody that's ever brought me food, I'd still be in prison. Kids brought me food. I know, that's... It's comedy. Anyway, I didn't want to do that because I realized I didn't want to go back to jail. I was in jail about 10 years ago. I served 6 months. See, I was hard on my luck, and I stole 3 apples. I got 6 months for stealing 3 apples. Now, mind you, it was 2 iPhones and an iPad, but it was still just 3 apples. Oh gosh, so getting older sucks. My testosterone levels really low. So I had this Pez dispenser surgically installed on my ass cheek. And what this device does is it releases testosterone as my body needs it. And after the surgery, the doctor said, listen, about 2 weeks you're going to get some really good wood. I said, Doc, that's great, but I'm not dating anybody. That wood's probably going to rot in the lumber yard. So then I go back to CrossFit a couple of days after, and everybody at this gym likes my ass. You like my ass? You have a nice ass? Nice? good, yeah. Everybody wants to touch it. So this one girl winds up, she hits me as hard as she can right on the incision. Yeah, it released 6 months of testosterone in my bloodstream. You know what it feels like for 3 days to walk around when people say, why do you have that handle in your crotch? I had an erection for 4 days, 3 or 4 days. And I like to masturbate just like all the other guys, but after the 13th time, I was like, I got shit to do. Can we stay on masturbation? I'm asking to be polite, but I'll tell you anyway. So, again, I'm going to be 65, and I love how easy it is. Get on your phone, get some internet porn, do what you got to do, get back to work in 5 minutes. It's great, right? When I was a kid, you were lucky to get a glimpse of a Playboy. My go-to was the old Sears catalog. Remember the old Sears catalog? Not the Wish book. I wasn't looking at the little. Anyway, talking about the real Sears catalog, pages 114 to 117, where those beautiful models were modeling bras and panties, hosiery, fuck me pumps. Now, I had my habit under control 2-3 times a day. It wasn't really that bad. And then that fucking Victoria's Secret catalog started coming out 5-6 times a week. I had like 300 of them stuffed under my bed. My bed wasn't even touching the floor anymore. It got to the point where my mother had to take me to a hand specialist. So I went to the doctor. He says, what do you think is causing the cramping in your hand? Well, I ride my bike, I hold the handlebar real tight. He says, yeah, how many times a day do you jerk off? I blurted out 10. He gets this look on his face, and I think, oh my God, he's going to call my mother and tell her she's a psychiatrist. But no, he leans forward and he said, 10? I have trouble getting it. How do you get 10 erections a day? And I lean into him and I say, have you seen the new Victoria's Secret catalog? Oh gosh, so, gosh, I'm dating now. Half Italian, half Polish, which means she knows how to cook, she just doesn't know what to cook. But before I started dating her, I was on all the sites. And like Paul, I'm a short guy, 5'5", 5'6". I call myself a sawed-off Guido. Now, I don't like those tall men that say, if you're not as tall as me, don't send me a message. So I send them a message. And this is the message I send them. I'm not as tall as you, but I have a really big dick and I can give you the ride of your life. They report me, I get banned. One woman, beautiful, 6'3", said, baby, what are you going to do to me with that big dick? I said, I'm going to crown you like a tree. I'm going to make you see God, and I'm going to have you screaming for more. She said, baby, that sounds really good. Now, what are you going to let me do to you if my dick's bigger? So I report her the source of false advertising, and they kicked me off. It's just water up, I'm drunk. So I have this nervous tick with the mic cord. It's no big deal. It's just a nervous tick. But I have this tick when I work venues that don't have mic cords, that have cordless mics, and that looks really weird. And I worked at a venue a couple weeks ago with a cordless mic, and after my set, a woman came up to me. She said, "Is that to ask you, were you jerking off up on stage?" This is the last joke. And I looked at her and I said, and I told her about the tick, and we smiled. And I looked at her and I said, thank you for thinking that my dick was that big. She said, well, you sent me that message on Match. That's where I got you kicked off. I just thought maybe it was true. Thank you for laughing. At least one person. So, I do CrossFit, and I don't know, CrossFit, you do, all different types of workout exercises. But one thing we do Olympic lifting, and there's a lift called the snatch. It's called the snatch. And so we had a coach in doing some lifting exercises. We were doing the snatch, and he asked me, he said, have you ever filmed your snatch? I said, as a matter of fact, if you go to OnlyFans, Sexy Joey 69, you can see that film. Don't go, it's not really me. Sexy Joey 69 is a real pervert. Oh gosh, so I took a trip down to Fort Lauderdale, Florida about a year ago by myself. and I was getting bored hanging around the pool. So I did a little sightseeing. I came across this town called Wilton Manors. Has anybody ever heard of Wilton Manors? No, just me, okay. Second gayest town in America. Now, I'm not gay, but I was curious. So I decided to go into a gay bar and have a drink. I was minding my own business. This guy comes up to me and says, how much? How much what? How much hair do you have under that shirt? Nobody's ever asked me this question before. I had no idea how to answer it. So I just lifted up my shirt and I showed him. So now he starts petting me. Now he starts petting me. I figured, okay, I'll be his little Italian cheer pet for a while. Maybe I'll get a free drink, right? So now below the equator, I'm not gay. It's right in my face. He says, sweetie, if you ever want to switch teams, you give me a call. Hello, Dana. Glad you could make it. The show's almost over. That's fine. Wonderful one. Anyway, so he gives me his phone number and he starts to walk away. As he's walking away, he looks back and he said, when you were a little kid, did you have a shirt that said, hello, my name is Joseph John? I usually end on that one, but now Dave is here, so I have to do another one. Maybe worth her wow. I want the drive from Somers to Point to be worth it. So, has anybody taken the drive from New Jersey down to Florida? Yeah, miserable, wasn't it? What I was fascinated at, though, in the Carolinas, those people love two things, right? Jesus and fireworks. Every billboard, every other billboard, Jesus loves you. Come to Hank's Fireworks. So we give you a free first aid kit with every purchase. But the one I think is funny is Jesus Saves. Because I always thought if I worked for a bank, that would be a great logo. Jesus Saves, and he's earning 4.99%. But, the one thing that really got me, I never was down there through there. I listened to the radio. So I realized real quick, adult contemporary is Christian music, and Christian stations are preachers telling me why I'm going to hell. Okay. I guess you guys are okay with me going to hell. All right, I guess we're going to leave it there. Are we good?